Ready to start the game again. Kabar giving last minute rules. Tom Zednick with the tip off and brought up by number 30, Todd Capice. Hold to Jimmy McGovern, number 24. Back over was Jay Cole. And over to Brian McGovern. Over his brother Jimmy. And Jimmy at the top of the key over to Jay Cole. Back over to McGovern, top of the key. Cole and McGovern playing catch. And Jimmy off to his brother Brian. Brian looking for somebody, finds his brother Jim. Jim looking to go for the three-pointer, tries to go inside, no. And he passes it off to Dave Boudreau, number 33. Boudreau with the shot, no good. With 30, ball brought up by number 31, Brian Crum, over to the 21, Dave Hanson. Hanson, no good. Crum up with the shot, no good. Covering, number 23, Jay Cole. Cole over to number 44, Brian McGovern. McGovern top of the key over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy back over to Brian. Over to number 33, Jay Cole. Cole over to the McGovern brothers. The brothers are playing catch. And Brian goes for the three-pointer and hits. Hanson being trapped with the ball, finds an opening, Brian Crum. Crum out to number 30, Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Crum. Crum over to Ralph Zednick. Ralph inside to brother Tom, and Tom goes up. Oh, he gets it batted away. He goes up again, no good. And we have the foul. No, stepped out of bounds. Cole with the ball over to Jimmy McGovern, over to Brian. Brian inside, Dave Boudreau. Boudreau goes up and he hits for two. 5-0 with just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Tamano's foul by number 33, Dave Boudreau. That's his first Coventry foul. Crum looking to inbound the ball. By number 32, Ralph Zednick. And Ralph gives it back to Crum. Crum drives. Looking to go coast to coast. He goes, no shot. He's fouled. Fouls on number 44, Brian McGovern. Nope, excuse me, 24, Jimmy McGovern. That's the second team foul for Coventry. Crum outside three-point, tries to drive inside, goes up. Right-handed scoop, and he hits for two. 5-2, Coventry lead. Cole, top of the key, hands off to Boudreau. Boudreau over to Jimmy McGovern. Playing catch inside. Boudreau goes up. Shot batted away by 24, Tom Zednick. Rebounding. Brian McGovern goes up for the three-pointer. No good. Rebound. Dave Hanson. Ball almost stolen away. Covered by Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Crum. Crum over to Dave Hanson. Hanson looking for a receiver. Finds Ralph Zednick inside. Ralph goes up. Tries to hand it off, but he steps out of bounds. Coventry ball. Brian McGovern inbounds it to brother Jimmy. Jimmy bringing it up. Back over to Brian. Brian over to Boudreau. Boudreau over to Jimmy McGovern. Piece of stolen. Ralph Zednick. And Ralph stuffs it for two. 5-4, Coventry up by one. Top piece over to Jimmy. Jimmy over to Brian. Over to Dave Boudreau. And Brian goes up for the three-pointer, no good. Recovering, Todd Copies goes up for two, no good. And we have a foul on the inside. Number 31, Brian Crum. And that's Johnston's first foul. Copies inbounded to Jimmy McGovern, over to Cole, over to Brian. Excuse me, I'm getting those brothers mixed up. That was Jimmy McGovern with the shot. Tim Arnold to Ralph Zednick, over to Brian Crum. Tries to go inside to Dave Hansen, stolen by number 30, Todd Copies. Jimmy McGovern tries to go inside, goes up for 2, and he hits. 7-4, Coventry up by 3. Ralph Zednick looking for an opener, finds Brian Crum. Crum inside to Tim Arnold. Arnold tries to go inside. Gives it to Brian Crum, and Crum draws the foul. It's on number 33, Dave Boudreau. And we have our first substitution coming into the game. Number 11, Gary Samaglia. Taking the seats, Tim Arnold. Samaglia, top of the key. Looking inside to Ralph Zednick. Zednick over to Dave Hansen. Hansen over to Samaglia. Samaglia tries to go inside to Tom Zednick. Picked up by Coventry. Tries to throw the full court pass, but no good. Nobody was there. Cole tried to inbound. Tried to hit Dave Boudreau on the run, but it was just too far of a pass. Crum over to Samaglia, and it's batted away. And number 24, Jimmy McGovern. Crum inbounds it to Ralph Zednick. Ralph over the timeline. Waiting, looks, dumps it off to Brian Crum. Crum goes inside, and he hits for 2. Cole with them long passes. Over to Jimmy McGovern, now over to Brian. Cole tries for the 3 points, no good. Rebound, Brian McGovern. Brian goes up for 2, no good. Rebound, Dave Hansen. Crum almost stolen, and Hansen recovers it. Over to Gary Samaglia. Tom Zednick goes up, hits a 2, and he draws the foul. Foul is on number 30, Todd Copies. That's his first, team 4th. And Tom, no good. Almost a rebound by Brian Crum, but Copies picks it off. Got up by Cole over to Jimmy McGovern, over to Brian. Brian back over to Jimmy. Jimmy tries to go for a 3-point inside, no good. Tries to go inside to Copies for 2, no good. Rebound, Brian Crum over to Samaglia. Samaglia waiting for his team to get over and get set up. And goes inside to Tom Zednick. Tom goes up for 2. And he draws another foul. This would be Coventry's 5th foul. Foul is on, I believe, number 33, Dave Boudreau. That's his second. And Tom sinks to the floor. It's now 11-7. Johnston up by 4. With just over 2 minutes to go. Oh, Boudreau almost has it slapped away by Gary Samaglia. Brian McGovern inside to Cole. Taking a 3-pointer. Goes over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy into Copies. Cole goes up for no. Rebound, Ralph Zednick. Ralph over to Dave Hansen. Back over to Ralph. Ralph tries to go inside. Goes back outside to Dave Hansen. Hansen over to Zednick. Zednick goes inside to Brian Crum. Crum goes up and hits for 2. 13-7. Just under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Brian McGovern brings it up over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy back over to Brian. Back over to Jimmy. Playing catch. Dave Boudreau comes in with the ball, tries to go for 2, no good. Todd Copies goes up, and we have a foul. Foul is on Tom Zednick. That's his first, team 2nd. Coming into the game, back into the game, excuse me. Tim Arnold taking a breather is Dave Hansen. Copies to the line for 2. Hits the first. And hits the second. 13-9, Johnston up by 4. Minute 39 to go in the half. Arnold brings it up. Over to Ralph Zednik. Tries to go back inside, no good. Finds Gary Smaglia on the outside. Smaglia goes inside, looking, oh, stolen by 23. Jay Cole. Cole goes up. Get off to Bedreau. Bedreau goes in for 2. Crum looking for an opener, hits Tim Arnold. Arnold sides against passing it, hits Brian Crum. Crum tries to go inside, over to Tom Zednik, and Tom stuffs it for 2. Tom with 7 points in the quarter so far. Brian McGovern over to Cole, over to Jimmy, back over to Cole. Cole over to McGovern. McGovern finds Bedreau. Bedreau over to Cole. Cole goes inside to Copies. And we have a foul. And Coventry coach is arguing about something. Coming into the game, number 34, Ryan Clark. Taking a breather is number 33, Dave Bedreau. I believe Jimmy McGovern had a finger stuck in his eye or something. And coming in for him, oop, he's coming back in is Dave Bedreau. Cole over to Brian McGovern. McGovern trying to find inside. He's back outside to Cole. Cole. McGovern going for a 3-pointer. No good. Rebound. Brian Crum. Crum, 27 seconds. Crum goes coast to coast and hits for 2. Brian Crum with 8 points in the quarter so far. Jimmy McGovern bringing the ball up. Over to Jay Cole, top of the key. Cole over to Bedreau. Back over to Cole, back over to McGovern. McGovern over to Cole again. Cole inside to Jimmy McGovern, and we have a foul. Stepped outside. McGovern stepped on the line. 17-11 with 4 seconds left. Crum goes for the full court. Hit the Tom Zednik, and Tom loses it. Goes through the hands. Coventry tries for the full court. Brian Crum inbounding the ball. Inbounded number 32, Ralph Zednik. Ralph looking to give it off. Hands it over to Tim Arnold. Arnold looking, tries to go inside. Ball batted away by number 34, Ryan Clark. Crum looking to inbound it. Goes up and above to Tom Zednik, and Tom goes up for 2. 19-11. And Jimmy McGovern back into the game. Hitting the seats, number 33, Dave Bedreau. Oh, and brother Brian hits for 2. Crum inbounds it, but Bobby Bagelli into the game for Smaglia. And we have traveling on Brian Crum. Jimmy McGovern bringing the ball up, harassed by Tim Arnold. Over to Cole, back over to Brian McGovern. Back over to brother Jimmy, playing catch. And Jimmy goes up for the 3-pointer, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednik. Zednik over to Bagelli. Bagelli over to Ralph Zednik. Ooh, Ralph a little harassed. Bagelli picks up the ball, but the Tom goes up and he hits for 2. 21-13 Johnston. Brian McGovern over to Jimmy, over to Jay Cole, back over to Jimmy McGovern, back over to Brian. Brian Jimmy playing catch. And Brian goes for the three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. And Tom over to Bobby Begelli. Begelli into Brian Crum. Crum going inside, no good. Passes it off to Tom. Tom tries to go to the basket, but it's traveling. Guilty of steps. Jimmy McGovern bringing the ball up. Hits brother Brian. Back over to 23, Jay Cole. Cole McGovern playing catch. Cole goes for the three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom hits Tim Arnold. Arnold goes into Brian Crum. And Crum up for two. 23-13. 10-point Johnston lead with just under 6 minutes to go. Timeout call, Coventry. McGovern brothers bringing the ball up. Jimmy top of the key over to brother Brian, number 44. Back over to Jimmy, playing catch inside. Number 30, Todd Kopis. Kopis tries to go over to 33. Dave Boudreau back into the game, but knocked out of bounds by Johnston. Brian McGovern goes inside to Cole, and Cole hits for two. Crum bringing the ball up. Crum over to Tim Arnold, over to Bobby Begelli. Begelli inside to Crum. Crum drives inside, goes and hits the scoop. 25-15 with 5:13 left to go in the half. Brian McGovern over to Jimmy. Jimmy over to Cole. Going around the key. Brian tries to go inside. There's no match for Ralph Zednick. Jimmy tries to go inside and decides to go on the outside with it. Gets his own rebound, no. Brian McGovern guilty of traveling. Brian Crum with Tim Arnold, back over to Crum. Crum over the timeline. Goes inside to Ralph, tries to go inside and off the tip of his fingers. It's off by Brian McGovern. And Boudreau tries to go inside. And we have a foul. I believe it's on number 23, Bobby Begelli. Nope, excuse me, foul's on number 24, Tom Zednick. That's his second foul. Oh no, it was on Bobby Begelli, excuse me. He drove for one, no good. For the second, and he hits it. Oh, we have a mix-up. And Brian Crum knocks the ball out of bounds. Kopis inbounds the ball at Brian McGovern. Brian over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy back over to Brian. Brian over to Jimmy, playing catch. Over to 30, Todd Kopis into Dave Boudreau. Batted away by 24, Tom Zednick, but he calls a foul. I've called the foul on Tom Zednick. I don't know where the foul was on that one. And Boudreau hits his first. Coming into the game, Dave Hansen taking a breather. Tom Zednick. 4:09 left to go in the half. Boudreau's second, no good. Bounces out. Rebound. Brian Crum. Crum looking to give it off. It's Tim Arnold. Tim back over to Brian Crum. Crum over to Arnold. Arnold. Over to Dave Hansen. Hansen Way over to Brian Crum. Crum almost loses it, but nice recovery. Crum over to Begelli. Begelli over to Arnold. Arnold tries to go inside. Goes up for two. No good. Rebound. Brian McGovern. McGovern over to Cole. Cole inside. Jimmy McGovern. Jimmy goes up for two. No good. Rebound. Brian Crum. Crum bringing it up. Inbounded to Ralph Zednik. Ralph lost his footing and ball out of bounds. 25-17. Johnston with a 8-point lead. 3:20 left to go. Whoa. David Joe tries to go inside and is fouled by number 32, Ralph Zednik. Joe to the line, hits the first. And misses the second. Rebound, Ralph Zednik. Over to Brian Crum. Crum holds up. Over to Tim Arnold. Arnold tries to go inside. Goes up instead to Dave Hansen. Nobody inside for Johnston to rebound that one. Off Coventry. And Brian McGovern tries to go all the way. Instead hits the Dave Bedreau. Bedreau goes up for two. Bedreau with 5 points in the quarter alone, 9 overall. Crum over to Begelli. Tries to go inside to Arnold. Picked off. Jim McGovern tries to go up for two and he hits. Timeout called, Johnston. Crum looking to inbound the ball. It's Tim Arnold. Arnold back over to Crum. Over to Begelli. Begelli back over to Crum. Over to Arnold. Brings it across the timeline. Tries to go inside to Dave Hansen. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. And it also takes out a Coventry player on the bench. Crum inbounds it to Tim Arnold. Back over to Crum. Crum over to Arnold. Over to Bobby Begelli. Bobby Begelli tries to bounce it past to Crum. Crum almost loses it. Recovers. He drives inside for two. And he hits. 27-22. Johnston up by 5. Jay McGovern, J. Cole. Back over to Brian. Brian goes up for three. No good. Rebound. Todd Copies. Copies up for two, and he hits. Ralph Zednik over to Brian Crum. Crum harassed by two. They have the press on. It's Tim Arnold. Arnold. He's being heavily pressed by 3. Finds Brian Crum. Crum. Over to Hansen. Hansen inside to Ralph Zednik. Ralph goes up for 2. 29-24. Minute 22 left to go in the half. Cole tries to goes inside. Hooden passes it off. Bedreau, and Bedreau hits for 2. Hansen, tries to pass it to Ralph Zednik. Picked off by J. Cole. Cole goes inside. Bedreau, and Bedreau with another 2. 1 point, Johnston lead, 29-28. Crum presses on, was inside to Dave Hansen. He was covered by 2 men. Begelli with the ball, over to Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Crum. Crum over to Begelli. Begelli back over to Crum. Crum for 3 points. Swish. 32-28, 33 seconds left to go. Cole over to Brian McGovern. Back over to Cole. Playing catch. Brian over to Jimmy. McGovern brothers playing catch. Now he's playing catch with Cole. Cole for the last shot. 10 seconds left. Jim McGovern waiting. Over to brother Brian. Brian goes for 3 points. No good. Rebound. Bobby Begelli. 1 second left. Begelli. Oh, no good. 32-28 at the end of the half. Johnston up by 4. J. Cole inbound the ball. Number 24, Jimmy McGovern. Back over to Cole. Cole. Almost picked off by Garrett Samaglia. Jimmy and Brian playing catch. Over to J. Cole. Cole tries to go inside. Decides to stay outside and go for the two. No good. Rebound, Brian Crum. Crum going up. Over to Tim Arnold. Arnold back into Crum. Crum drives inside. Goes outside to Tom Zednick, and Tom hits for two. And we have, official timeout to straighten out the net. Number 24, Jimmy McGovern with the ball. Across the timeline, over to brother Brian. Brian, back over to Jimmy. Jimmy goes for the three-pointer. No good. Rebound, Ralph Zednick. Ralph out to Gary Samaglia. Gary across the timeline. Tries to go inside. Almost batted away. Picked up by Tim Arnold. Arnold goes up for two. No good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom up for two. No good. Samaglia up for two. Ball is batted away. And we have a jump ball called. Alternating possession. I believe it's Johnston ball. Crum inbounding, finds Tim Arnold on the open. Back over to Crum. Crum for the three-pointer. No good. Rebound, Jimmy McGovern. McGovern drives in. Passes off to brother Brian. Brian tries to go inside, and he steps on the line, out of bounds. Johnston ball. 6:45 left to go in the third quarter. It scores 34-28 Johnston, up by 6. Copies inbound the ball, inbounds it to Jim McGovern. Jim up for 3 points, no good. Rebound, Samaglia. And Gary across the line. Over to Tim Arnold, number 30. Tim over to Ralph Zednick. Ralph almost loses the ball. Over to Brian Crum, number 31. Crum goes up for two. No good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom tries to dish off the ball. Stolen by Brian McGovern. McGovern over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy tries to go coast to coast. No good. Rebound, Ralph Zednick. Over to Crum. Over to Samaglia. Samaglia over the timeline. Over to Arnold. Arnold over to Ralph Zednick. Ralph goes inside to brother Tom. And Tom just drops it in for two. 36-28 with 5:58 to go in the quarter. Jimmy McGovern over to brother Brian. Brian back over to Jimmy. Over to J. Cole. Cole over to 33, Dave Bedreau. Bedreau goes up for two, no good. Gets his own rebound. Back up for two, and we have a foul on number 11, Gary Samaglia. That's his first, team first. And Bedreau will go to the line for two. Guys for the first, swish. Going for the second. Air ball. Brian Crum inbounds to Ralph Zednick. Next is it back over to Brian. Finds Gary Samaglia, trapped by three. But he finds an opening. Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Tom Zednick, and Tom is fouled by number 30, Todd Copies. That's his second foul. That's a team first. Tom hits the first. And the second, off the glass, right in. J. Cole with the ball. Over to Brian McGovern. Brian top of the key. Passes over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy over to brother Brian. Brian tries to go inside. Passes off to Dave Bedreau. Bedreau goes up for two. Crum with the ball. Over to Samaglia. Samaglia over to Ralph Zednick. And he's fouled by number 23, J. Cole. That's his second foul of the game. Crum tries to go all the way inside. No good. Rebound. Brian McGovern. Displeasure from the fans over no call on Tom Zednick. Bedreau tries to go inside, and the foul on number 32, Ralph Zednick. That's his second. 4:46 left to go in the third quarter. Score is 38-31 Johnston, up by 7. Draw to the line for 2. Misses the first. The second, no good. And we have 3-second violation. Nope, no shot called. Now for a second, and he hits it. Crum. Bounce it to Arnold. Back over to Crum. Coventry trying to put the press on. And Tim Arnold's guilty of traveling. Jimmy McGovern over to brother Brian. Brian tries to go inside, goes up for 2. Good foul on number 30, Tim Arnold. It's 4th team foul. And that is Arnold's first foul of the game. McGovern hits for the first. And the second. Well, oh, ball almost tipped away by Bedreau. To Samaglia. Oh, stolen, J. Cole. Cole goes over to Bedreau. Bedreau hits for 2. Score is 38-36. Coventry closest to within 2. Ralph Zednick dumps it off to Brian Crum. Crum, ball stolen. Tipped off by Kai Kopis. Kopis over to McGovern. McGovern goes up for 2. No good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom gives it over to Gary Samaglia. Samaglia being harassed. Have the press on. Finds Ralph Zednick. Ralph over to brother Tom, and Tom goes up for 2. 40-36. Johnston up by 4. 3:41 left to go in the quarter. Bedreau tries to go to the baseline, and he steps out of bounds. Go forward! Oh, that's fucking charging. Arnold, trapped by 3. Finds Gary Samaglia inside to Tom Zednick. Tom goes up, but no good. Rebound. Brian McGovern. Brian over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy across the timeline. Brian with the ball. Over to Todd Kopis. Kopis over to Jimmy McGovern. Back over to Dave Bedreau. Over to J. Cole. Cole up for 3, and he hits for... And he gets his 3. Crum looking inbound, hits Gary Samaglia. Samaglia, press on 2. Ralph Zednick goes up for the ball. Fourth foul is called on Jimmy McGovern. That's his 3rd foul. 3rd team. Samaglia over to Tim Arnold. Arnold, he tries to go inside. Blocked by Brian McGovern. Dumps out to Jimmy McGovern, and Jimmy hits for 2. Ralph over to, Tom over to Gary Samaglia. Samaglia goes up for 2, and he draws the foul. 44, Brian McGovern, that's his second. Smagler misses the first. Smagler for the second, no good. A rebound, Tom Zednick, and he hits for two. Scores 42-41, Johnston up by one. 2:27 left to go. J. Cole over to Brian McGovern. Brian goes for three, no good. Rebound, Ralph Zednick. Off over to Garrett Smagler. Smagler over to Tim Arnold. Arnold almost loses the ball inside to Tom Zednick, and Tom stuffs it for two. Tom Zednick with 12 points in this quarter alone. Jimmy McGovern over to J. Cole. Oh, stolen, Brian Crum, and there's a foul called on number 44, Brian McGovern. That's his third. And taking a breather is number 23, J. Cole. Into the game, number 34, Ryan Clark. And he'll go to the line for 1 and 1. 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. And he hits. Crum goes up for the second, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom tries to go for two. Rebound again, no good. McGovern. Oh, picked off by Tim Arnold. Arnold. And there's a foul on number 30, Todd Copies. That's his third. On back into the game, number 23, J. Cole, as Copies takes a breather. Arnold on the line. And he hits the first. It's his first point of the game. Goes for the second, and he hits. 47-41. Johnston up by 6 with 1:48 to go in the quarter. Brian McGovern over to J. Cole. Cole tries to go for the three, and he hits. 47-44. Johnston only up by 3 now. Tim Arnold with the ball. Over to Brian Crum on the run. Brian goes inside. No good. Rebound. Tom Zednick, and Tom up for 2. Tom Zednick is on fire this quarter. 14 points alone in this quarter. Number 33. Dave Bedrow, top of the key over to Jimmy McGovern, over to brother Brian. Back over to Jimmy. Jimmy McGovern over to J. Cole. Cole harassed by Tim Arnold. Back over to Jimmy McGovern. McGovern tries to go inside, loses it, and knocks the ball out of bounds. Johnston ball. 54 seconds left to go in the quarter. Brian Crum up inbounded. Tim Arnold. Back over to Crum. And Tom Zednick, guilty of traveling. Few too many steps on that one. Hey, Bedrow. Over to Brian McGovern. Over to Jimmy. Over to Cole. Cole over to Bedrow. Bedrow over to Jimmy. Jimmy over to Clark. Cole goes for the three-pointer, no good. Excuse me, that was Jimmy McGovern, three-pointer. Ball brought up by Crum into Tim Arnold. Arnold goes in for 2, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Ball out on Coventry. Johnston retains possession. 12 seconds left to go in the quarter. 49-44. Rebounded to Arnold. Arnold to Crum. Crum up for 3 points. No good. Rebound. Gary Samaglia. Final rebound on that one. Number 20. Rebound. Jay Cole, but he's fouled. And number 32, Ralph Zednick. I believe that is Ralph's third. 3 seconds left to go in the quarter. And Cole hits the first. Shooting 1 and 1. And misses the second. Rebound. Ralph Zednick off the Crum. Crum throws up the Hail Mary, but no good. Scores 49-45. Johnston up by 4. Bounding the ball and bounds it to number 23, Bobby Begelli. In for number 11, Gary Samaglia. Begelli over to Arnold. Arnold back over to Begelli. Begelli into Ralph Zednick. Ralph. It's in for 2, and he hits. Brian McGovern tries to go inside. Passes off to brother Jimmy. Into Dave Bedreau. Rebound. Tom Zednick. Tom over to Brian Crum. Brian over to Bobby Begelli. Begelli inside. Tim Arnold. Hands it off to Crum. Crum calling out the play. Over to Bobby Begelli. Begelli looking. It's Tim Arnold on the run. Arnold. Oh no, stolen. Jay Cole. And he goes. Oh, he loses it. Foul called on Brian Crum. That's his second. No, apparently no foul on Brian Crum. He just knocked the ball out of bounds. Begelli brings the ball up. Over to Tim Arnold. Arnold and Zednick collide. And he steps. Ooh, ball picked up by Ryan Clark, excuse me, but he steps on the line. Brian Crum inbounds it. Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Bobby Begelli. Begelli over to Crum. Crum for the 3-pointer, no good. Rebound. 33, Dave Bedreau. Side to Jimmy McGovern, no good. Picked off, Tim Arnold. Arnold over to Crum. Crum waiting. Over, inside to Tim Arnold, and Arnold is fouled by number 23, Jay Cole. 6:33 left to go in the game. 51-45, excuse me. 6-point lead for Johnston. And Ryan Clark will take a breather. Back into the game, number 30, Todd Copius. Arnold for 1, and he hits. Throw line for a second, no good. Rebound. Ralph Zednick, but he steps out of bounds. Coventry ball. No, excuse me. He's saying Ralph fouled. Whoa. Ralph picks up his 4th foul. It's just over 6.5 to go in the game. Now a timeout. Okay, Jay Cole will go to the line. 1 and 1. His first, and he hits. And he hits his second. 52-47. 6.5 to go in the quarter. Zednick over to Brian Crum. Crum calling out the offense, excuse me. Over to Begelli. Begelli over to Arnold. Arnold drives, loses the ball, but picked up by Ralph Zednick, and Ralph travels. Jimmy McGovern bringing the ball up over the timeline, over to brother Brian. Brian tries to go inside, back over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy over to Todd Copies, over to Cole. Cole over to number 52, Bill Pendleton, into the game. Cole tries to go inside, the underhanded layup, no good. Rebound. Whoa. Crowd not happy with the ref call. Johnston ball. Trying to get into the game. Garrison Magla taking a breather is Tim Arnold. And Ralph Zednick is fouling number 52. Bill Pendleton just into the game. That's his first foul. Ralph to the line for 1 and 1. And he hits the first. This is the second rebound. Todd Copies. Copies over to Cole, over to Brian McGovern. Brian trying to go inside, goes up for the shot, no good. Rebound, Ralph Zednick. And Ralph dumps it off to Gary Smaglia. Smaglia over to Ralph Zednick. Ralph looking, pass, running past to Brian Crum. Crum goes up for the underhanded scoop, and he hits for 2. Brian McGovern bringing it up, over to brother Jimmy, back over to Brian. Brian over to Bill Pendleton. Pendleton over to Jimmy McGovern. Over to Copies, over to Cole. Cole goes up for 3. Knee hits. That's his third three-pointer of the game. Crum inbounds to Ralph Zednick. Ralph over to brother Tom. Tom goes up and he stuffs 2. Tom Zednick, 27 points on the night. Tom Zednick on fire. Cole goes inside, tries to. Back over to Brian. Brian over to Jimmy. Jimmy can't get inside. Over to Bill Pendleton. Pendleton over to Brian McGovern. Brian over to Jimmy. Jimmy up for 3, no good. Rebound, bounces outside. J. Cole goes up for 2, no good. Rebound, Tom Zednick. Tom over to Bobby Bagelli. Bagelli dumps it off to Crum. Crum brings it over the timeline. Crum goes inside, no foul called. Rebound, 24, Jimmy McGovern. McGovern over to brother Brian. Brian tries to go inside. And foul called on Tom Zednick. That's his third. Have Brian McGovern going to the line for 1 and 1. No, excuse me, you'd be going to the line for 2. This is the first. And this is the second. Ralph Zednick. Excuse me on that one, folks. Brian Crum with the ball. Bounded Bagelli. Bagelli looking for an opening. Inbounded, Ralph Zednick. Ralph dumps it back out to Brian Crum. And we have a foul on Brian Crum. That's his second. Coming into the game is Dave Hansen. Taking a breather is Ralph Zednick. Oh, excuse me, that's Crum's third. Jamie McGovern in the line for 1 and 1. one in the bonus. Coventry coach shouting in last-minute instructions. And McGovern hits the first. For the second, and he hits it again. 57-52. Coventry up. Coventry down by 5. Crum trapped by 2, hits Gary Samaglia. Samaglia over to Begelli, back over to Samaglia. Samaglia into Crum. Crum drives. Goes in, up for 2, no good. Rebound, Jay Cole. Cole over to Jimmy McGovern, over to brother Brian. Brian goes coast to coast for 2. 57-54. Coventry's close to within 3. Crum over to Begelli. Begelli over to Samaglia. Samaglia over to Hanson. Hanson over to Begelli. Begelli into Tom Zednick. Tom almost loses the ball. Back off to Brian Crum. Crum over to Hanson. Hanson over to Begelli. 15 on the shot clock. Samaglia looking. Over to Crum. Crum. He drives, goes inside for 2, no good. Almost rebound, Jay Cole. Cole throws up the pass, intercepted, Bobby Begelli. Begelli into Samaglia. Samaglia over to Begelli, over to Samaglia. Samaglia over to Tom Zednick. Tom inside to Dave Hanson. Hanson goes up and is fouled by Dave Boudreau. That's his 3rd foul. 2:23 left to go in the game. Johnston's definitely going to have to keep Jay Cole from getting those 3-pointers. If he gets a chance to throw one of those up, he could tie the game. Hanson misses the first. His second's up and good. It's Dave Hanson's first point of the game. Cole with the ball, dumps it off to Brian McGovern. Back over to Cole. Cole over to Jimmy, over to Brian again. Brian over to Jimmy. And then Jimmy goes cross-court to Jay Cole. Picked off, Brian Crum. Crum drives. Looking for somebody to dump it off to. It's Bob Begelli. Begelli over to Hanson. And we have a foul on Dave Boudreau. That's his 4th. Score is 58-54 with 1:55 left to go. Coming into the game, Tim Arnold. Taking a seat is Bob Begelli. Brian Crum receiving instructions from assistant coach Dan Mazzula. It's in for 1-1, and Hanson hits the first. Hanson up for the second. No good. Rebound. Todd Copies. Copies out to Jimmy McGovern. Passes over to brother Brian. Brian over to Jimmy. Jimmy over to Cole. Cole, 3 points. No good. Picked off Tim Arnold. That 3-pointer could have brought him within 2, excuse me. Samaglia. Over to Arnold. Arnold inside to Hanson. Hanson dumps it off to Samaglia. Samaglia with his first 2 points of the game. 61-54, 61-54 with 1:24 left to go in the game. Sorry, folks, I'm getting a little excited on this one. Rebound, Dave Hanson. Hanson over to Crum. Minute 11 to go in the game. Crum loses it. Goes over to Samaglia. Samaglia inside to Tom Zednick, but Tom loses it. Coventry ball. Minute 4 left to go. Johnston up by 7. Jimmy McGovern over to Boudreau. Boudreau trying to go inside. Picked off. Tom Zednick. Tom just took it out of his hands on that one. Crum. Pressed by 2, floats the pass over to Dave Hanson. Hanson over to Samaglia. Samaglia almost has it picked off, covered by 3. Over to Tom Zednik, to Crum. Crum loses it. And Kopis picks it up, but steps on the line. 37 seconds left to go. Johnston up by 7. Crum inbounds it. Donald. Donald loses it. Coventry ball. Brian McGovern with the ball. Over to brother Jimmy, 24. Over to J. Cole. Oh, no foul. Brian tries for the 3-pointer, no good. Rebound, Brian Crum, but Crum knocks it out of bounds. 25 seconds left. 7-point lead, Johnston. Cole goes for the 3-pointer off the backboard. Crum with the ball. 18 seconds left. Samaglia. Gonna play catch, and he is fouled by 24, Jimmy McGovern. And Samaglia having a few words with McGovern. 11 seconds left. That's McGovern's 4th. Smag for the line for 1. No good. Misses it. Rebound. Brian McGovern. Brian over to brother Jimmy. Jimmy goes up for the 3. No good. Wide. 4 seconds left. Dave Hanson with the ball to Brian Crum. Crum. Hail Mary. Doesn't matter. Johnston wins 61-54. That was a close game.